So welcome all of you guys in the Juniper training. And this training in Juniper is specifically for the JNCI course. So I'll tell you what levels of the courses are there, right? Before going ahead, I'll just introduce myself and I'll take a collective introductions of yours, like from what background you're coming in terms of like have you completed CCNA or not, or what is your level on the technology for the routing, switching, or the networking. Okay, so we'll go with the first my introduction first, and then I'll introduce the subject, and then I'll need a short introduction from your end, not from everyone. I just need a collective introduction. We'll see. How. Okay, got it, guys? So my name is Samir Maniyar. I'm from Nasik, Maharashtra. I have delivered these trainings on Cisco and Juniper. Let me tell you what certifications I'm dealing with. So I'm certified on Juniper, JNCIA, and JNCIS. I'll tell you the difference between them later on, and CCNA and the CCNP, then Palo Alto and the Red Hat certifications. So on multiple fronts, I have delivered the trainings to different corporations like overseas and the internal, it's like a domestic clients also. And this time I'm working with Octa Networks. So this training is given to you by Octa Networks, and I'm delivering this training on behalf of Octa Network. Right? So this organization deals with the Cisco certification, as you most of you are familiar with this, right? So Cisco is allied with Juniper. It's like a Cisco and Juniper are the allied technologies. So if you have a knowledge on Cisco, if you have a knowledge of Cisco, then you can get a knowledge of Juniper also, because if you know one thing, that will apply to another things also. Guys, there is a difference between education and training. Do you know what is the basic difference between education and training? See, when we talk about car driving, is it an education or is it a training? If you interact with me on the chat, that will be better. What do you think? If we talk about the car, uh, that's something training, right? And your 10 plus 2 is something education. Your bachelor degree is something education, right? Uh, suppose swimming is also need a training. We don't we cannot open a book and read about the swimming. That's not going to help us. We cannot uh, we cannot uh, do anything on the driving with the books, like a 45-degree turn, so your car will get turned. It's not going to work like this. Are you following this, guys? So these technology are uh, related to practicals. So, and if you know one technology, one product, for example, Cisco. So it's like a you know about Suzuki car, right? Just with most common brand in India, right? Related to car, right? So can you drive another car like suppose let's consider Tata also manufacturing car. So is it difficult? If you know how to drive Suzuki car, you can know how to drive a Tata car also. Or if you just know how to drive Suzuki car, do you think it is going to help you? You got my point. Right? And this is how we learn in terms of getting knowledge also. If you know about one thing, it's easy to get the knowledge of another things also. I hope you got my point, right? So this is how we are going to structure our training also, right? So uh, these are the bullet point, or these are the points that we are going to cover up, like Juniper architecture, products, user interface, configuration tasks, maintenance of the device, then routing policy, right? That doesn't make sense at this stage. We will, when we go deeper, then it will be helpful, right? Uh, and it is on the beginner level. Like there are 4 level in Juniper certification. We have associate level, then we have specialist level, and we have professional level, and then we have expert level, right? You might have seen a triangle based, like it's on CCNA, CCNP. CCNA, then this is very wide, and above that you have CCNP. But before CCNP, we have specialist level also. Let's CCNP, NCore, if you take NCore, right? So this counted as a specialist certificate. Specialist certification. Above that, we have professional level, CCNP. Right? And above that, we have expert level. Same concept is here in the Juniper, right? I have one slide for this. So you can see here, associate, specialist, professional, and expert. So when you attempt the first certification, so you will be like a JNCIA juniors. It's up to you. If you want to give certification, that's okay. If even if you don't give certification, but at least you can put this in your resume as a beginner in this career, you can use this knowledge. And because this technology is heavily used in service provider as well as in some data center and the enterprise businesses. So having this knowledge or portfolio in your resume is very beneficial for you. Right? So like a specialist level, JNCIS, okay, and above that we have JNCIE, and above that we have JNCIE, okay. Guys, please mute yourself. If you want to say something, you can unmute. Right? Okay. Clear, guys?
Yes.
So the levels
Yes,
of
Samir.
certification. Good. So let's how we are going to what we are going to cover. These topics are there. These topics will dig deep when we move ahead, like a session by session, right? Hopefully, this will be covered in 2 to 3 weeks. In a 3 weeks, we are going to cover up. Maybe it will cover up a little earlier, but max to max in 3 weeks we are going to cover up. And these are the points that we are going to cover up, like Juniper technology and the routers, switches will be in our focus, right? So you already, I hope you know the Cisco technology like CCNA. So on top of that, we are going to build up this. How many of you have attempted or attended the CCNA training? Just give me an idea in the Teams chat or the Zoom's chat, so I will get an idea like how many of you are already knowledgeable on the CCNA, right? Okay, Nikhil, most of you have attended CCNA, CCA. Some of you are CCNP also. Good, uh, that's nice. And timing will be 7:30 that we already conveyed. So for this week, it will be 7:30 and continually it will be 7:30 only, right? So most of you are CCNA, either certified or the trained, right? So you have a knowledge of router and switches, right? So we are not going from the very scratch. I'll in our course outline is in the certification CCNA, JNCIA syllabus. There is a topics on network fundamental like IPv4, IPv6, but that if needed, I'll explain you with the practicals. I'm not going to dedicate any theoretical or any session for this, but definitely we are going to clear the concept about it, right? Uh, just we are not going to jump on the commands and commands only, because that those commands will not make sense if you don't know this concept. So I'll address this. As long as you know this, we'll move forward fastly. And if we have to spend more time on this, then our timeline will also get disturbed. So I hope we are not going to spend more time on these topics. Rather, we'll focus on the topics like how to use the interface, user interface of the Juniper, then basic configuration of the Juniper, right? And the maintenance commands, monitoring commands, right? Operational commands, then routing commands or routing practice on this, right? And some of at the last, we are going to deal with the firewall filters and the routing policies, right? Here, guys, this link I'm going to share with you in the Teams chat. You can also refer this later on. This recording will be there on the YouTube right afterward, so don't worry about the recordings. We will take this practice-based learning, right? In technology, especially in the networking technology, explaining theoretical concept is easy, or explaining this with the demo is easy. What do you think? As an instructor, I feel when I explain things with the practice, it's much more easier than explaining the things. For example, what is a default gateway, right? If I explain this theoretically, it's going to take too much time. But if we set up one small network and explain this practically, then it is very easy to explain. What do you think? Agree, guys?
Yes.
Right? So same approach we are also going to take in the Juniper training, right? And in Cisco, especially on the CCNA level or on the entry level, associate level, we have Cisco Packet Tracer. I hope most of you are familiar with the Cisco Packet Tracer. That's very simple and very easy tools to study on this Cisco platform. But unfortunately, that type of simulation is not available in Juniper. So we have to take this EVNG. You can use GNS also, but EVNG I'm going to show you. So this is web-based. Means, let me show you. This looks like this. Any one of you have used EVNG in the past? I hope most of you have used, because this is very common nowadays. But even if you have not used, I'll give you a short introduction. What is EVNG, and if you want to set it up on your own laptop, how you can do it. Okay, I'll give you a short information about the EVNG also. Right? There are tools, video recording on the EVNG for the detailed setup, but I'm not going to show you the detailed setup from the scratch. But I'll tell you how this EVNG is helpful in our studies. Okay, and this is web-based, right? It is running on this IP address 192.168.147.148, and it's running on this virtual machine, right? And I can use this. Yes, this session is for the Juniper training, Mohammed Shah. So this uh, I have used on one end a Juniper, and on the other end a Cisco routers. And later on we'll do the practice also, like how they can interact with this. So basic practicals like static routing, default routing, then OSPF. These practicals we are going to set it up on this. Okay? And if time permits, we'll take some switching practicals, but switching practicals are not in our focus because that's not in JNCIA course outline. But it may be helpful as a practice stuff, because this course outline is for the JNCIA. But if you want to put Juniper technology as one of the point in your portfolio, or as a portfolio in your resume, then you should have some switching knowledge also. So if time permits, we'll take the switching also. This. So as of now, I'm taking this lab on my own laptop, but later on when we need a switching labs and advanced labs, then we have to run this in the cloud, because here I have a limited infrastructure with around 12 vCPUs, but in advanced practicals, we need more number of vCPU, virtual CPU. Okay. Then I'll give you a guidance on the JNCIA also, like how to crack this exam. I have cleared this exam long back in 2020, I think. Then recently I have recertified. This I have completed in 2020, and this JNCI have completed recently. Let me show you the exact names also. Okay. Only in the last month only I have completed this JNCI Enterprise, right? And this one I have completed in 2021, right? So every 3 years you have to keep refreshing this certification. So in 2027, the certifications will get void. So if I have to go to the next level, for example, uh, on the professional level, JNCIP, so I have to complete this before 2027. Then otherwise, this ID, you have one certification ID that code will get void, and you will not have a database in their entry in the database for your certifications. So just like a Cisco, you have to keep it refreshing. Otherwise, you will not be able to go for the next level of certification. Right. So I'll tell you how to attempt this, and this cost is like a cost of CCNA is very high. But in Juniper, they give around 75% discount on this cost. And for JNCI, the cost is around $200. So 75% discount means only in $50 you can complete this exam, right? But they don't give this as without any efforts. You have to take efforts for the uh, attempt exam. There is an attempt exam. That attempt exam is free of cost, but we have to clear that attempt exam. I'll tell you about the attempt exam, and I'll discuss about the important questions also. Yes, we will record this and put it on the YouTube, so you will have access to the YouTube. Okay, so what I expect from you guys, the basic knowledge of networking, and if you have a CCNA knowledge, then that's good. Then we can easily grasp the technology on the Juniper. Okay. So first of all, we'll go through the basics, right? We'll relate it with the Cisco technology, right? And we'll do the practice. Then at the end, we will have a question answers, right? And I'll give you a chance to answer questions on the technology and same topics, and then uh, we'll have a fruitful discussion like this. Every session will be structured like this. Like conceptually, first we have to understand. We'll have a demo on this, and then question answer. I can't give you a time for your practice and do the cross check, because as I told you, we have to run this on the EVNG. So it may be possible for some of you, and it may not be possible, because this EVNG is is a, is not a light simulation like Cisco Packet Tracer. Let me show you. Even though I'm running it on my laptop, but here also we need resources like CPU should be good amount of CPU, vCPU should be there, good amount of memory should be there. Only then this software is fruitful. Otherwise, it goes very slow, and you may not be able to do the practice. So for that, cloud infrastructures are there that you have to see how you can arrange on this one. And so certification information you can get from the Juniper. I have shared the link in the chat, right? So any questions so far before going to the core topic of Juniper? If you have any question, you can ask, or else we can go to the topics. So I'm taking a quick poll from your end. If you are ready for the topics, then we can go ahead, or else if you have any question, please ask the question.
Hello.
Yes.
Have you started?
Yes, Ajit.
Yeah, so just one query. Are we going to cover all the topics of JNCIE?
Yes, we are going to cover all the topics of the JNCIA.
Okay. Means so we will able to give the examination after this course, I think.
Yeah, after this training, you will be more confident in terms of knowledge, and you can attempt the exam after this training. I'll guide you for the exam strategy also, how you can get it done easily.
Okay, because I'm already, I mean, what I have done, they have the Juniper portal, learning portal, so I have already enrolled in that, and I'm going through their syllabus. But it seems that it is not means we have to work more. That's why I have asked.
The open learning portal you are talking about?
Yes, correct. It is not sufficient, it seems, for the certifications.
Right. Yes, that portal is also very beneficial, but there you will not be able to get like a practicals. You can watch it, but you cannot do it on yourself.
Correct. That's what. Okay. Anyway, thank you. Thanks for this initiative. Actually, I was looking for the Juniper training. Actually, thank you.
Thanks, Ajit. Anyone else? Okay, Abhishek has a question. Describe difference between service provider, enterprise routing, switching, DC, security, cloud. Okay, the category wise, right? So see, in most of the company, I'll give you an example. Like for example, the health related organization, hospital businesses are there, like a chain hospital business. So where they will fall. I'm instead of answering your question, I'm answering another like a reverse question so that we can categorize it. What do you think? If it is a hospital business, where we are going to put it? In enterprise, in data center, security, or cloud? It should be enterprise, correct, Abhishek, right? Let's take another example. If it is like a manufacturing company, car manufacturing company like a Tata Motors, or a airline business, where you are going to put it? In which category? That's also enterprise business. See, in terms of businesses, we have three categories. Let me note it down. We have SOHO, we have SMB, and we have enterprise, right? So if it is very small organization, like I'm running a training and consulting business, right? So this is counted as SOHO, right? Suppose I got few projects of tech support and I have around 100 employees. Still, it cannot be considered as enterprise, right? And or let's consider even this goes up to 400 or 500, still it will be SMB, right? But if we have a company like Tata Motors where thousands of employees are there, then it will be counted as enterprise business. So I hope you first of all understood what is the enterprise business, right? So when we talk about routing, switching, or enterprise, right? So this is like this. What about service provider? So let me give you another example, like a TCL. Have you heard about this company? In India, there are tier one service provider, right? TCL. Then we have Reliance. We have um, Airtel, right? So where we are going to put them? Obviously, these are service provider company, right? What is the difference between enterprise business and service provider business? Uh, Enterprise business has client and servers, right? But service provider companies, right? You provide a path to connect these enterprise business. Like for example, Tata Motors need a connection between multiple branches or plants. So they will take a help of TCL, right? So these types of company, right, they have a traffic called as transit traffic. They don't generate their own traffic. They use they forward the traffic coming from small offices and the enterprise businesses. Are you following this point, guys? That's called as transit traffic. Is it clear? In terms of traffic flow, or in terms of uh, the amount of data to be transmitted, where we will have more load, on service provider network or on enterprise network? On service provider network, we have more amount of data flow, right? Like the routers and switches designed for the service provider, right? They are very heavy duty, because like a GBPS network, they require even TBPS network, they require huge amount of data. It's like a enterprise is like a high quality network, but service provider need a very high quality network, because all the company's data will get transferred or transit through this service provider network, right? And what about a data center? What's the role of data center? So all the servers are located on the data centers, right? So their traffic is again a different traffic. So Amazon, right, is the topmost company, right? Beside this, we have GCP, Google Cloud Platform, right? And few other companies like right, Azure, Microsoft Azure is there, and these are like a top brands. And even on a local basis, also we have some businesses like uh, in Mumbai, all all the companies data center, most of the companies data centers you will find in a Mumbai location, because Mumbai is connected to the rest of the continent with the submarine cables. You might have seen this. So most of the data center have their presence in cities like a seashore. They are connected to the. So in India, Mumbai and Chennai is highly connected. If you go to other countries like Malaysia, Malaysia, Singapore, right here also we have connectivity very strong. And if we have a data center here, it will be easily connected to the rest of the world. And furthermore, the internal fiber connectivity through Reliance or through Airtel, it will be connected to the rest of the cities within India also. Is it clear, guys? That's something called as data center connectivity or data center, right? Security is a self-explanatory. I hope you know about this, right? And the other tracks that we have, like a cloud and automation and Mist AI, right? This is AI-based technology used in Juniper, right? So they don't have a professional and expert level certification so far. The expert and professional level certifications you will find in an enterprise service provider. And if you attempt this enterprise, you can go to the service provider and the data center also. Not service provider, but the data centers, JNCIP, also you can attempt. Means either, right, you can go for enterprise or you can go for data center. It depends on your company's requirement. Abhishek, what is our category in this JNCIA? I didn't get, can you elaborate on this, Abhishek?
Hello.
I didn't
Hello.
get you. What is that? Yes, Abhishek, audible. Tell me.
Good afternoon, sir. Actually, sir, I want to ask that which is our category, sir? It is service provider routing and switching, or sir,
Okay,
or
got it. Means in which track we are flowing through,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right. So see, you can this JNCI Juno is common amongst the routing, switching, and service provider. So either you can go for JNCI's SP or you can go for JNCI's enterprise. This is common for this, but you cannot go for JNCI's data center directly using this JNCI Junos. But once you complete this JNCI enterprise, then you can go for data center, JNCIP data center, and JNCIP enterprise. Means you are eligible for this. Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Good, relevant question. Thanks. Okay. So, any other question, guys? Clear? This is the main is like a the schedule time is 7:30 to 9:30, but today I'm going to wind up a little earlier because today is the first day. So hopefully from tomorrow onward, few more participants will join. So I'm going to keep it up to this only today, and from tomorrow onward, we will go to the technical subjects. Right. So I'll just introduce what we are going to cover up in a tomorrow's topics or tomorrow's session. Smith, your question, like in the cloud track, they're using Azure AWS platform. I'm not sure about this because the cloud is about, means like a generic cloud they are talking about. They are not going with any specific technology, because when you use AWS or Azure, they have their networks also, means like Azure network, AWS network, right? And within that also you can use the Juniper devices, right? So in general, they will go. That's not dependent on any particular platform. You can utilize this technology in any one of the cloud infrastructure, but in cloud infrastructure, what constraints you have and what things you have to concern about, that only is explained in the JNCIA cloud, right? And in that we don't have the specialist or professional level. It's on the basic level that's okay. Okay, let me quickly go through the subject that we are going to cover up in tomorrow's session. So we'll talk about the June OS architecture and how it is structured, right? And how this operating system works, right? So if you compare it with the Cisco, what we have in the Cisco world, there we have Cisco IOS, right? Internet Network Operating System. Likewise, here we have June OS, right? Whether it is a June OS or whether it is a Cisco IOS, both are proprietary operating systems, right? So you cannot make the changes in the core of the operating system, right? But Cisco is it's like they have not opening up like from where they have designed this operating system, but in Juniper it is very explicit. We have used FreeBSD. We will talk about this later on. And there are two components in this: routing engine and packet forwarding engine. We'll discuss about these in details, like what is the impact of routing engine, what is the role of routing engine, what is the role of packet forwarding engine, right? We'll talk about what is the role of transit traffic or exception traffic. Right? Then the Juniper products. You can check this Juniper products on the Juniper website. Let me show you. So they have vast variety of the devices, like cloud devices or cloud products, data center networking and switches, right? Then they have automation products, fiber optics, router, SDN, software defined networking, security products, wireless products, right? So our focus will be on the router and switches. So if you take a deeper look on the routers, so we have different categories like MX series routers and we have PTX series routers. In enterprise business, MX series devices are there. In the service provider domain, we have PTX series devices. Right? There are a few others are also available: ACX, CTP, and other devices. But our focus will be there on the MX series, and that only I'm going to show you on my practicals. These are physical devices, and every device data sheets and details are available. We are not taking deeper look into this, but on surface you can see how much capacity we have on these devices. And these devices are also available in the virtual platform, that is VMX, right? So here I'm using VMX. This is a virtual image available for this MX series routers. Obviously, this is a lab-based device, so will not have the much capacity. In terms of capacity, is very low end, but it is good enough for our practice. And in the switches, we have EX series switches and QFX series switches. We'll talk about that. And firewall, we have SRX series firewall. Some of the practicals I'll show you on the VSRX series firewall. Or the basics like a NAT and the firewall filtering, we can check on the firewalls. So we are going to use event here, I've already shown you, and we can use QCOW2 images. These are the backend images on the, so here we log in. So under a particular folder, these are camo images. So you can see here, we have vJuneOS switch, we have VMX14. Let me list it in details. So this one, I'm using VMX 14.1. This is a little older, but it is okay for our practicals because it is lightweight. If you take the recent one, then it is heavier, right? Okay. And this vJuneOS switch I have installed here, but it is not usable on my machine because it takes lots of vCPU. For that, I'll take help of Cloud Lab. These images are already available on the Juniper website. I'll tell you how to download this. Okay, and these are the certificates that we can achieve after completing the training and attempting this. So this type of logo you can put on your mail signature, right? And if you complete the next certification, this looks like this. So I have completed this too, and digitally. Ajit, the training duration is 2 hours, but today we are going to wind up a little earlier. And the system configuration for this, let me write it down here, or we can take it here on the. We should have at least core i5 or i7 processor or higher. And in terms of RAM, you should have at least 16 GB of RAM. Okay. So this is okay for the basic practicals. Advanced practicals, the training duration, let me note it down here, because most of you are asking about the duration. So it's like a daily 2 hours, and we are going to take 3 weeks. Max, right? Maybe we can cover it up in 2 weeks, but that depends how this is going in the flow. Rakesh, later on we'll see. Means give a try. I'll show you tomorrow how to set up the labs, right? But I cannot take individuals with means like a lab to be set up fully. I'll give you I'll give you a link where this lab setup is shown, like how EVNG is used, and how we can deploy the Juniper images in it. Okay? That I can help you on that, but not individually. I'll give you a general information for all of you. Here, guys. Okay, guys, so we'll stop our session today here, and rest of the points we are going to cover up in tomorrow's session. Hope this helpful in understanding this overall concept, what we are going to achieve in this. Okay, thanks for your listening.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good night, guys. Bye.